some of the people there, and you've already made relationships with them, and it's just great because the first year we went, when we came back, they were all sort of not very trusting of you because they don't know you and they don't know what you're going to do or why you're there. But the second time when we came back, it was crazy different because you get out of the van, and the first time people are just kind of standing and you kind of make sides. There's like all the missionaries and then there's the people of Honduras. But this year when we went, we get out of the vans and you see someone you know, like you see some of the kids or you see someone that you worked with or one of their family members, and you just start greeting them, and all the kids came by and shook I shook like 70 hands that day, and it's incredible going back a second time. What we do typically is we build latrines, which is like a porta potty type deal. Actually, Pastor Joy went back to a house that she had built a latrine in before and got to basically reap what she had sown the year before. And I bet she was glad that it was there. So we do latrines, and we make, we'll give them floors because they have like dirt floors, and so we'll give them a cement floor. And it's crazy to think that someone, who has a cement floor in their house is someone who is considered, it's a really good floor. It's like, you're wealthy if you have a cement floor. And then if you were to go into a house and it doesn't have carpet, or it doesn't have anything used, it's people are kind of turned off by that. But there, it's something that's, they're so thankful for that, and it really just opens your eyes because, we have so much here, and when you go there, you realize just all the poverty that they have. And one of the sad things is when you go back, you come back here and you just see how everyone's, just doesn't, they just take everything for granted that they have, and but back there it's completely different. You're working and your back is, you're hurt. There's a place right there that hurts real bad, and no matter what you do, no matter how much lying in a hammock you do after the work day, nothing fixes that. But what we forget is they get that too. They feel that too, and they're doing this all the time whenever they can get the materials. And you think, oh man, these people have got to be tired too. But you'll see the same guy come from the house that you were just working at. He'll hit up like 4 houses and do 4 projects, and he's got a job too. And they're it's like a family, And they say that it takes a whole village to raise a child. Well, there was a kid last year. His name was Edward, and his mother had gone away to go and work, and so he had basically been left in the village, and I don't know what had happened to his dad, but he was basically alone there. He could go anywhere in the village he wanted on his little bike, and they would all just take care of him. And so you get to not only see just how much they care for each other, but just how thankful they are for what they have. And a second thing that we did, we went to a different village besides Almico, was for the water project, which, in case you guys don't know what that is, it's basically water filtration, because a lot of the illnesses that they get, the picture right there, we're handing the buckets. Well, that's me handing one of the water filters in the buckets to the people. But basically they get a lot of illnesses because of bacteria and antigens in water. And so you'll end up with digestive problems and all sorts of things. And so last year when we went to Almico, we decided to give every family member a filter. And this filter will basically purify 1 million gallons, up to like 1 million gallons of water if you take care of it. And you've got to like backwash it, and you've got to do all sorts of things with it to keep it clean. But this drastically changed the lives of the people. When we would go there, Gene actually, in every house he'd be working, he'd be like, oh, or he saw anyone drinking water, he said, are you using the filter? Back when we were in Almico, and he'd say, yes, they were. And there was a great change in just the amount of sickness. It lessened dramatically in those instances. And so we went to this village in El Pedrero, and we had to drive. It's basically, it was like a 3-4 hour drive to get there. And have you ever been in a car and you're driving, and you're not looking like this when you're driving, you're looking like this in your seat, because there are so many potholes and it's not really paved roads, and so that little spot that it hurt real bad, you were just sitting in the car, you're like, oh, come on, over with. And it was a long drive to get there, but we got there and we didn't know what to expect, because we had to set up all the filters and we had to make the buckets. We had the buckets, we just had to attach the filters to them. And we don't know these people, we don't we haven't gone there. And so, like the first time traveling to Omika the year before, there was that sort of sides that had been drawn. We were standing on one side holding the buckets, and they were on the other waiting to get called up. But HOI was they're doing a case study on it where because they want to see just how effective the water filters are. And so right behind me in that photo, there's it's the clinic, the HOI, Honduras Outreach Incorporated. It's the clinic there. And so they have all the medical records of all the people, and they're going to see just how much how much it impacts them and the change afterwards over like a course of a year. And I think we'll get like a 6-month update on it. But anyway, you're standing there holding these buckets, and the sides have been drawn, and you don't know, and you're not talking, and they're not talking, and they're calling out the families by name, and then one person comes up as the family representative, and you hand them a bucket, you go back. And after we'd done that, it was still kind of tense, and then something just happened, because it was like the breaking of a dam. And everything's just held back, and then as soon as it breaks, just all this overflow of water and compassion. These people came, and people just started hugging you, and it was fantastic. And then we got a picture with them, and we toured the village, we went in a church, we saw the school, and it was crazy because you didn't know what to expect. They didn't know you didn't know them, and they didn't know how to show how much they cared. But then once they got in their buckets and you actually started talking to them, it was just this overflow of compassion. And that's basically what we did when we were there. Thank you guys.